Okay, so this is gonna be fun. We're going to go through the news. We've got Monsters Inc. and Muppet Disney Park news. Gonna read through it together. I've got the gist of this, but I haven't actually read the entire news article yet. So let's read through it together, and then I've got a fun little activity for us to all do after we've read it. We're gonna play Where Does It Go? We're gonna have some pie in the sky ideas. All right, so let's see. New doors open for Monsters and Muppets at Hollywood Studios, and we've already got here in the image. This is in Hollywood Studios right now where Muppets currently are. So Star Wars Land is right over here. Yeah. Star Wars Land is right over here. This is where Muppet Vision is. These are the bathrooms, Pizza Rizzo, like the Mama Ristorante Italiano. And right now, this is nothing. So this is nothing in Hollywood Studios. This is, I think, a parking lot. We'll pull up the map in a bit. I think this is just parking lot area. Right now, there's a wall here. This is where it ends. You come out of Muppet Vision into the gift shop. And the restaurant's right here. There's nothing this way. So this is all going to be expansion. But okay, so let's take a look here. Let's see if we can zoom in a little, see what we're looking at. All right, so we've got a couple things. So we see Monstro is the name of the theater. So I'm assuming we're going to be replacing Muppet Vision with another show. Because up here, this is clearly the ride. We know we're getting a Monsters Inc. e-ticket ride with the sliding doors, I believe, like the doors on the thing. It's got to be based around that. This is going to be that building right over there. That's why they're expanding. So this will be some form of a show. I see the Laugh Factory over here. So in theory, they could bring the Laugh Factory over from Magic Kingdom. I don't know if this means that they wouldn't drop such a blatant hint, I don't think, but it could be. So they could bring Laugh Factory and put it into this building. I see that says Harryhausen. So Harryhausen's, people have been wanting that. This is cute with the chopsticks holding the eye. Looks like Mama Ristorante Italiano is going to become Harryhausen's. I don't think I see any detail on what Pizza Rizzo is going to be. I see a little Mike and Sully sign. We got, I don't know these guys' names. It's the, they're so awesome guys. But so we've got some fun little advertising here. This is where Miss Piggy's Statue of Liberty statue is. This is the most important thing for me to preserve. Me personally, I'd love to see this remain in Hollywood Studios. So I know they're gonna move it, but hopefully somewhere still in the park where we'll get to it, where we're gonna put a Rock and Roller Coaster Muppet Mayhem. But it looks like we're keeping a fountain here in the center. What else can we see? Nice little trees. I'll believe it when I see it. This is like a bench area. All right. But it looks like that's the big, those are the big points here, right? We've got a show going on here at the Monster Theater. We've got Harryhausen, so this is probably a nice sit-down restaurant. Pizza Rizzo will probably stay a quick service restaurant, but Rizzo's probably out. So glad I got to meet him this time around when I went to Disney. And we've got our e-ticket ride. And all here right outside Galaxy's Edge. Okay, so let's see what the announcement actually is. All right, get ready to open the door. Mike and Sully are coming to town. Humans will be able to enter the world of Monsters Inc. Yes. The door vault scene plus dining and shopping. Oh, okay, and shopping. So, right here in the back, when you exit Muppet Vision 3D, you used to have the Muppets shop. When I went back in September, it was closed. I think it's been closed since COVID. I don't think it's opened back up again. So, I'm assuming we're going to keep that setup. We'll have the theater. We'll have the gift shop in the back. That works both ways because if you exit the theater into the gift shop, or if you're exiting the ride and coming back, you'll pass the gift shop, exit the restaurant, the gift shop's right there. So it's actually a really nice location. They just have had it closed. So we've got a gift shop here, and a whole new theater show. Oh, see, I should start reading before I start guessing. There is confirmed new theater show to make way, and they say new, so it's probably not Laugh Factory. To make way for the monsters, Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, and more of their friends will be moving right along to Sunset Boulevard. But there's more to the story. The Muppets will be taking over Rock and Roller Coaster, teaming up with some of music's biggest stars for a rock and music festival. Okay, this is interesting. I have seen this image. It is beautiful. Gorgeous art. So we've got the Electric Mayhem. We've got Miss Piggy. We've got Kermit. No other Muppets? No Muppets hidden anywhere? No hidden Gonzo? No, Muppets on the license plate. Okay, so this is interesting. So people have been speculating this for a while. I was hoping for it. I love Aerosmith. I love Rock and Roller Coaster, but I've been wanting more for the Muppets for a long time, and I thought this would be a great great use of them. So I'm actually really excited that this is happening. But this is interesting. Teaming up with some of music's biggest stars for a rock and music festival. So I was curious, in thinking about the Electric Mayhem taking over, you wonder what do they play? Do they play covers of other artists' songs? Muppet Mayhem just came out and they have their own album. Do they play from that? And it looks like maybe both, but definitely we're going to be including other stars. Teaming up with some of music's biggest stars for a rock and music festival. We'll speculate on that in a bit. We know so many of you share our love for the Muppets and know their energy will be a perfect fit for this coaster. Love that. The first Disney ride to ever feature the Muppets. Yeah. There's sure to be laughter, screams, and new tunes for this attraction fans to enjoy. Okay, that'd be interesting. If we got new music from the Electric Mayhem for this, that'd be really interesting too. In the meantime, there's still enough time to catch a super stretch limo, to enjoy that, and to catch Muppet Vision 3D again before their final curtain calls. Okay, so yeah, much like everything when it closes, they'll give us a date. Likely, if I had to guess, maybe before summer of 2025. I don't think its time is limited. If they're announcing it here, I don't think we're going to get the entire year with Muppet Vision 3D and Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster. But back to this teaming up with music's biggest stars, it's interesting. I'm wondering, will it be a rolling thing? Like occasionally we'll bring in a new act? No, that wouldn't make sense. That'd be so expensive because you have to film the pre-show and everything. Okay, what would be really cool if we had 3 or 4, like some little pool of artists, and that pre-show that right now we have where Aerosmith gives us the backstage passes. It'd be cute if they just kind of had a cycle, like almost like they've been doing it with Guardians of the Galaxy on both coasts. You might get a different song, kind of that idea. It's like, what song can you get? There's 1 of 5 choices. Actually, as I'm saying that, that's probably what they're going to do. It's been really popular. I love it with the Guardians rides, and that seems like a natural fit. So maybe it's 5 different artists, and we see the artists in the studio talking to the Muppets. That'd be really cool. And I imagine a lot of artists would want to film a pre-show with the Muppets. Who wouldn't want to do that? Okay, so that might be what we're getting there. As we move forward with these changes, we are having creative conversations and exploring ways to preserve the film, Muppet Vision, and other parts of the experience for fans to enjoy in the future. No doubt there are a lot of new adventures planned for Disney's Hollywood Studios. We'll have more details to share next year. For now, stay tuned. Okay, so yeah, we're trying to preserve the film. I know I saw people talking on TikTok and on Discord who were like, "Oh, maybe they'll move Muppet Vision somewhere else," and we'll play with that a little bit right now. I've got our game ready to go, but I'm gonna say right off the bat, I don't think Muppet Vision is staying in the park. When we see this preserving the film, I think they're gonna put it up on Disney Plus. That's best case scenario. I think that's what we can anticipate. Maybe for those of us that like physical media, they'll make a Blu-ray of it. That'd be cool. A nice little Blu-ray with some special features on the making of. I would love that. Okay. But again, physical media, we're in 2024, and it feels like pulling teeth trying to get physical media from some things. There are certain movies that I saw last year that I love that still have not even gotten any kind of physical release. So, not holding my breath for that, but that's what I think this means. I think it's saying we're going to put it up on Disney Plus. I don't know that it's going to stay in the park. Having said that, this is all really exciting. Let's go over to our game. So I've got the Disney map pulled up. All right, so let's take a look at Hollywood Studios. If I can go in. All right, so let's take a look at what we're looking at. So Muppets are right over here. You can see the Miss Piggy Statue of Liberty statue right here. Okay, so going back to that image, if we go up here, you can see. So this is the fountain. Let's just center ourselves. Here's the fountain. So Muppet Vision 3D. Here is the gift shop, actually, that's not been opened. Here's Mama Melrose. So Mama Melrose, you're turning into Harryhausen's, and it looks like the gift shop. Okay, so the gift shop was here, does not appear to be in this photo anymore. So I don't know if the shops are gonna kind of meld in between the 2 restaurants, or we're gonna have more space over here. Not sure, but it looks like what is currently the shop is not in this mock-up photo. But we have this nice little bench area here. Pizza Rizzo, we don't know what's going to happen to you. You're Harryhausen's. You look like you're gone. You're turning into the Monstro Theater. And see, right back over here, we've got parking lot. Yeah, so it's parking lot. This is the area that they're going to build into to get all of this going. As you see right now, Mama Restaurante, this is the end. This is where we exit the theater right here. Here's the gift shop and the restaurant. And it looks like we're going to bulldoze this down, get a pathway going, and build the e-ticket right there. So that's nice. We like expansions. It's going to make it a lot bigger. Now, what I wanted to play is Muppet Vision 3D. I don't think it's staying in the park. But if it was, let's see a couple of places where we think it could go. So if I go back out here on Hollywood Studios, so we already know that we are taking this area over here, Rock and Roller Coaster, right on Sunset Boulevard. This is becoming Muppets. Muppet Mayhem happening here, the Electric Mayhem taking over. So kind of a quick, obvious idea would be this area, which is currently the Lightning McQueen area, I know is going to be used for a villain show starting next year, I believe. But I don't know that that's permanent. And again, we don't know how long is this refurb going to take, how long to get the Muppets over to Sunset Boulevard based on how long it took Epcot. I don't think we're going to be seeing the Muppets here in 2026. So who knows how long. The villain thing could be temporary. If we assume that, I think it's safe to assume we might be making this entire area Muppet themed. And if we did that, we could definitely use this area and building to move Muppet Vision over. Now, clearly, as we see here, they are still using this for a theater show, so a lot of the elements are staying in there. They'll probably work with what they have. So a lot of the mechanics are going to stay here, which is another reason I don't know that they're going to just rebuild Muppet Vision from scratch in a new location. That just doesn't seem feasible to me. But that being said, I could see this entire square right here becoming Muppet themed. And if that's the case, if we needed to preserve Muppet Vision in the park, this would be an obvious place to do it. Like right here next to the Rock and Roller Coaster, you have your nice little Muppet Square. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to get the roller coaster. The gift shop is right inside because the roller coaster currently lets out into the gift shop. So we'll have the Muppet merch in there. And then this will hopefully be a new Muppet show, which that's what I would hope for. I personally, I love Muppet Vision 3D. I know it's the last thing Jim Henson worked on, and we want to keep its legacy alive. But if I had a choice, I would love for a new Muppet show. We've had little Muppet shows here and there. We've had great moments in history happen at Magic Kingdom in the past, and I love that, and they shut that down. And I'd just love them to see, I'd love to see something new with the Muppets like that happen here. Give me some more Muppets. But if we had to keep Muppet Vision, I think it could go here. Now, if we wanted to move it somewhere else in Hollywood Studio, there's a couple of places where we know there are already shows. So we've got Voyage of the Little Mermaid. I've heard people talking about maybe we can repurpose this theater and put Muppet Vision in there. 3 reasons. I don't think that's going to happen. 1, they just redid. I don't even think Voyage of the Little Mermaid has reopened. They put a lot of money into redoing this show, so I don't think it's going anywhere. 2, I'm pretty sure on size, this is a lot bigger than Muppet Vision, and I can't remember the types of crowds it draws normally, but I don't think the Muppet Vision 3D ride was pulling in those kinds of numbers. And 3, it's Little Mermaid. I don't think we're removing the Little Mermaid, especially with the live-action remake having come out 2 years ago. It's one of the most popular properties. I don't see Little Mermaid going anywhere. Now, right next to it, Walt Disney Presents. That makes more sense to me. If we needed to put it somewhere and we wanted to recreate it, you'd need to close this down. And no matter what we do, we're going to have to refurbish a lot. But right here, I could see Muppet Vision taking over this space. Now, I still think this is a more likely scenario because we'll have a Muppet-themed land, and we like to keep things separated and, you know, kind of cohesive. And right here, Muppet Vision would really stick out. But if you were looking for somewhere else in Hollywood Studios to drop it, this is where I think it would go. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I think Muppet Vision is going away, and if it does stay, I think it's going over here next to the Rock and Roller Coaster. But I'm open to the arguments that it could take over the Walt Disney Presents Theater. I'm also so sad. I know, like a lot of you all, I was hoping all of this was going to be going away in hopes of them building Monsters Inc. Land here and leaving Muppets alone. But again, it's sad that the Muppets are leaving, but at least they're not leaving the park entirely. We're still getting a roller coaster from it. It's really exciting. It's bittersweet stuff. I think Muppet Vision is going away, but I'm excited that they're staying in Hollywood Studios. And also, side note, right here, that Miss Piggy fountain, I need that to stay in Hollywood Studios. They can just pick that up, drop it right there, right in front of the roller coaster. I don't care where they put it. don't send it to the archives, please. It is I take a picture in front of it every time I go. I love this fountain. Keep it. Just figure out a way to move it. Why don't we get Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else over to Sunset Boulevard? Okay, so that's the only places I could see it feasibly going in Hollywood studios. But that is not the only place I could feasibly see it going in Disney World, because I have another option. So let's say we are making a new Muppet show here. This is Muppet Corner. We're doing all the Muppet stuff over here, right? And we're not taking over the Walt Disney Presents Theater, but we still want to keep Muppet Vision. Well, let me zoom out, because we're going to be taking a little trip just across Buena Vista Drive to Epcot. So I think if we wanted to keep Muppet Vision and spread the Muppet love around Disney World, I think a perfect place to put this would actually be right here in Epcot, in the Imagination Pavilion, where we currently have the Pixar Short Film Festival, and that's been there for years. And it's been a long time since I've been there. I think the last time I went there I saw was when Piper had just come out. I don't even remember which movie that was with, but it had been a while. This is a theater. It is small. It is niche. And right now, not only is it just kind of a throwaway attraction, just minor 3D effects for the Pixar short films, but I think you could repurpose this to have the Muppets. Then you would have Muppets in 2 parks, and you could start coming up with very interesting and I think adorable ways for the Muppets to interact with Figment. For me, again, because Figment just started as a puppet, that just seems like a natural partnership that could happen. I think the Imagineers could get really creative with that and get a lot of mileage out of that partnership. Now, downside to this, I am a big proponent of, I love the original Epcot. I don't like that we keep putting IPs into Epcot. You know, we've got Frozen instead of Maelstrom. You've got the Guardians of the Galaxy now. And no matter how well they do it, like, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is fantastic in Epcot. I love so much of new Epcot. And Guardians they made it fit really well as they could have. But I do have a little, like, every time we hear about IP being brought into Epcot. Guardians of the Galaxy, it's good. Moana, The Journey of Water, it's one of my favorite things Disney has done in years. I love Moana, The Journey of Water. So I'm not opposed to it. And on that note, I'm going to say I would love to see the Muppets in Epcot, right? I know it's Epcot versus IPCot, and there's a whole dilemma, but if we're okay with it, if we accept that we're going to bring the Muppets into the park, this is where I would put them. And honestly, if I wanted to keep Muppet Vision alive at Disney World, it would not be in Hollywood Studios. My number one choice would be to put them in ImageWorks and start partnering up with Figment. Start using the Muppets because they are a gold mine of an IP, and I love the Muppets. Put them into Epcot. Now you have 2 parks where you can play with the Muppets. Hollywood Studios, which is, like, you know, in my opinion, the biggest half-day park, the least to do, the most scatterbrained. Give the Muppets a big showcase there. And then when we're in Epcot, give them a little smaller scale, but still fun appearance here. We can watch Muppet Vision, have the history. It keeps with the kind of, I'm going to call it, historical themes of Epcot and keeping the past alive as well as the present and the future. I think it all works here. You could really sell it to me. Granted, I'm looking to buy, so I'm an easy sell, but I think you could sell it to me here. This is where I would want Muppet Vision to go. And yeah, if I ever see Kermit and Figment do a little pre-show together, I think I'll just fall in love with Figment all the more. Now, the other thing, the final thing about this announcement, the last thing. So yes, Muppet Vision 3D, I would move it into Epcot. I don't think it's going to stay in Hollywood Studios. And just to be clear, I also don't think it's going to Epcot. Like, I think it's closed. But if we're dreaming, we're blue skying this, Epcot, that's where I wanted to go. But the other thing in this announcement, if you remember that picture, right? So we have Monsters, Inc. Laugh Factory here. Now they say new theater show. That could mean they're making something from scratch, or it could just mean new to Hollywood Studios. And if they bring Monsters, Inc. Laugh Factory over here and put it into this theater, then that clears up that space in Tomorrowland. And as we all know, Tomorrowland is in dire need of a refurb, of a change, an update. You know, we've gotten done with some Epcot refurbs that took for five years. We're currently working on Animal Kingdom refurbs. Is Magic Kingdom next? As we're doing this with Hollywood Studios and getting Monsters Inc. Land going here, we've got something for Monsters. We've got something for Hollywood Studios. We've just finished Epcot. We're currently working on Animal Kingdom. So Magic Kingdom is next, right? Part of that process could be a Tomorrowland refurb. And this is a really convenient way to get Mike and Sully out of Tomorrowland into their land in Hollywood Studios and free up some space right over here for a new show, an attraction, what have you. Hopefully not just a meet and greet, but we could start refurbing and making Tomorrowland a lot more cohesive. Now, is this likely? I don't know. I think out of all the theories we've talked about today, this is the most likely thing to happen for a couple reasons. I don't know that they'll bring Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor to this theater. I think this is just kind of advertising. We have Monsters Inc. already on property. It's the Laugh Floor, so we're just going to throw this sign in there. I do think Tomorrowland is going to get a refurb in the next decade. I do think that refurb is going to see us lose Monsters Inc. Laugh Factory. I think it would be a shame, as much as I love Laugh Factory, it would be a shame to just see it get repurposed and moved over to Hollywood Studio. Laugh Factory is not like Muppet Vision 3D. It's not 30 years of history and Jim Henson's last production, and it's none of that. So it doesn't need to be preserved in the same way. I hope it's a new show, but I do think that Monsters Inc.'s time in Magic Kingdom is now limited. I know I just said the Muppets could live in 2 parks, but I don't think Monsters Inc. can. I think them being given their own dedicated land with the idea of a Tomorrowland refurb on the mind, and I know it's been on a lot of people's minds for the past couple of years, is Tomorrowland needs update. What's Magic Kingdom going to do next? What's the change coming? And it is coming. You know, I know we're getting Villains Land, we're getting Cars Land. Throw a little pixie dust and sparkle onto Tomorrowland in that time. I think we're going to lose Monsters Inc. there. And what may happen is that we may get a little Monsters Inc. like an ode to that here as we're saying goodbye, or we may just shut it down in Tomorrowland and we'll never see it again. But I do find this interesting. I do find this poster incredibly interesting in terms of what's going to happen and here and when. I do think what this tells me is that Monsters Inc.'s Laugh Factory, its days are numbered. It will be gone soon. But all that being said, this is all just conjecture. I'm super excited about the news. Sad about Muppet Vision, but I know they're going to preserve the film. You know, I'm glad I've seen it many times over the course of my life. I'm sure they'll put it on Disney Plus so I can watch it again and preserve the many aspects of that I like and the aspects of it that I don't like. You know, it's not a perfect show, but I love the majority of it, and I'm excited I'll get to see it again. And I'm most excited about this, and I'm glad that they clearly know that we care about this. They know that as Muppet fans, as Disney fans, we love the Muppets. We're losing something, but we're gaining something. So they didn't just drop a bomb on us and then wait a month or 2 months to release the Rock and Roller Coaster. They gave it to us all at once, so made that pill a little bit easier to swallow. So this was super fun. Loved doing this. Excited to look at more Disney news in the future. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Monsters Inc. Laugh Factory is going to close? Do you think it's going to move to Hollywood Studios? Will Muppet Vision be moved to somewhere else in the parks? Maybe Epcot, maybe Hollywood Studios? Or do you also think, no, they're just going to close it down and release it on Disney Plus or Blu-ray? What do you think? What do you think is going to take over Pizza Rizzo? Where do you think the gift shop is going to be? And do you think they're going to get rid of the villain show that's replacing Lightning McQueen to make a full Muppet Central area? Or do you think the villain show is probably going to stay and be a permanent residence there? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, this was kind of a bonus one-off. This wasn't scripted, obviously. So we'll be back to our regularly scheduled reviewing and looking at all the Disney movies and Disney history and lore. If you like anything you've heard or like any of those videos, like, subscribe, comment, you know the deal. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much, y'all.